All right, the next story in the lesson is Phones Are Helpful Tools. And this story is by Karen Ligers. So on the cover, we see this boy, and he is thinking about a few different things. He's thinking about his phone, and then there's also a picture of a man with a plunger, so that is a plumber, and there is a picture of a man with a box of pizza. So he is a pizza delivery man. So something in this story is going to happen between the phone and this guy right here, and a plumber and a pizza delivery man. So what do you think could be happening in our story with those three people and a phone? Let's find out. Some words that we need to learn for this story that will be helpful are landlord. A landlord is a person that rents homes or buildings to other people. So you might live in an apartment, you might live in a house that's a rental, you might live in a house that your parents own, you might live in a house with somebody that supports you. A landlord is the person that rents homes or buildings to people that don't own their own home. So like I pay rent in my apartment, so I have a landlord. Phone contacts is a list of names and phone numbers saved in a cell phone. Phone contacts make it a lot easier and quicker for you to find your contact. You can just dial in or type in their name or the letter that the name starts with, and it'll pop up, and you don't have to memorize all these numbers. It is a good idea to know your emergency contact phone number or your phone number in case something were to happen to you and you need to communicate that to someone. So we do practice some of those skills when you are at Pathways. But a phone contact, if you have your own phone, is another good way to have phone numbers in your phone as a resource for you. Plumber is a person who works on water pipes in buildings. So when you're younger, or if you're at a store or anything and the water is overflowing in a toilet, or something is plugged, or the drain isn't working, plumbers can help fix that if Drano doesn't work. So your parents or your staff or somebody that supports you might need to call a plumber if that is the situation. Calendar app is a program on your phone to keep track of dates and times. I use my calendar on my phone pretty frequently. It is on every phone app. It has this, and then you can pick the day, and it'll tell you if you have any events going on. So I didn't have any events today besides work, and that's what that does. Things to learn from this story: it is important to keep your phone contacts updated. Why do you think that is important? If I were going to use my phone contacts to call my mom, and I start typing in mom, and it brings up an old number, it's not going to go to my mom's new number. She's probably not going to answer the phone. The phone number could be disconnected. It might be going to a different person who now has that number. So it's a good idea to keep your contacts updated, which we also like to do for each of your files. And when we're talking to your parents and your siblings and your guardians, it's always a good idea to keep that contact information up to date, just like you need to do on a phone. So you know how to get a hold of somebody at the right location. You can search online for phone numbers that you may need. A lot of businesses have their phone numbers, stores and restaurants, and people that may need to help you. If you need to get your car towed or you have a flat tire, you can call those people. If you need a painter, a lot of times they'll have websites with their phone number listed there, so you can find it that way, and you probably won't have it saved in your phone. And the other thing is, a phone is useful for solving problems. So what does this story have in store for us? Today, Libby wakes Jim up. Oh, you think Jim was mad? She says, Jim, the toilet is leaking. There is water all over the bathroom floor. What should Jim and Libby do? What would you do if you walked into the bathroom and there was water all over the floor? Would you clean it up with a towel? Would you walk out of the room and pretend nothing happened? Or would you get somebody to help take care of it? So it'd be a good idea to go get the person that supports you and could help the situation if you weren't able to fix it yourself, and most people aren't. I'm not sure how to fix this, says Jim. See, Jim can't even do it. Who can help us? Asks Libby. Jim thinks for a minute. I know. Let's call Harold. He is our landlord and he can tell us what to do. So either Jim and Libby, their roommates, either they rent a house or they rent an apartment. And Harold is the guy that's in charge of keeping the building up to date, and he is the one would be responsible for fixing the toilet. Great idea. I saved his number in my phone contacts, says Libby. Libby gets her phone. She tells Jim the phone number to call Harold. His number is 504-555-0068. Jim dials the number. And to save time, Libby could have done that just by hitting send. Jim tells Harold the problem. Harold tells Jim he will send a plumber to their apartment. He asks for Jim's phone number and address. The plumber will come to the apartment at 11 a.m. Now, hopefully, your landlord knows where you live. But in this case, it was good because they wanted to confirm that information, make sure the contact information was all up to date. So Harold tells Jim he will send a plumber to the apartment, but wanted to confirm the address, and the plumber was going to come at 11 o'clock. So Jim enters 11 o'clock on his calendar, like I showed you in my phone, the calendar, and Jim sees on the calendar that he has a conflict, and it's a very important conflict. Jim was going to eat lunch with a friend at 11:30. So what is he going to do? Is he going to blow off his friend? Is he going to just pretend nothing happened and not show up? Or is he going to contact him? And as our story says, he's going to call his friend. Good job, Jim. Good choice. Jim finds Ben's phone number in his phone contacts. He calls Ben. Jim and Ben make new plans for lunch. They will have pizza delivered while the plumber is fixing the toilet. So they use their problem-solving skills. They thought, well, hey, we can't go out to lunch anymore, so we're going to be here for a while. Why don't you come over and we'll just order something in? So Ben is being very gracious at the change of plans. At 11 a.m., the plumber arrives and works on the leaky toilet. Ben comes to Jim and Libby's apartment. Jim asks Ben what his favorite pizza place is. Ben likes Big Al's Pizza. Jim likes it too. Ben uses his phone to look up the phone number online. So that was good communication between the two of them. They changed plans after they had plans. They're asking which type of food they want, what the favorite pizza place is, because Ben is a guest and Ben chooses one. And Jim also agrees, so Ben uses his phone to order. Jim dials the number. Thank you for calling Big Al's. How can I help you? Jim orders a medium pizza. He says he would like the pizza to be delivered. And the pizza man asks for his phone number and his address. And Jim tells him the number and address. The pizza guy says it'll be delivered in 30 minutes. Jim uses his phone to play some music while they wait. So look at this. So far, we have used their phones to call the landlord, to reschedule plans with a friend, to look up a pizza place number, to place a pizza order, and we checked the calendar to make the appointment, and to play music. So it's pretty cool, all these things that a little device can do. The plumber is done working. He tells Jim and Libby that the toilet is fixed. The plumber will let Harold know he fixed the problem. Jim says, thank you. Libby says, thank you. Those are good manners that they are using because he did something for them. The plumber says, no problem. I will send the bill to your landlord. Ding dong, the pizza is delivered. Jim uses a tip calculator app. There is another use for your phone. On his phone to figure out how much he should tip the delivery person. Jim pays the delivery person. And there are different apps that you can use for things like that, or you can just use a calculator. Jim smiles. This has been a good day. Jim is glad he has a phone. He solved many problems with his phone. And if you don't have a phone, you can solve problems other ways, and you have people to help support you that can help you solve those problems. So you don't only need a phone to solve problems. It is important to know your address and your phone number. So these are some of the tips that we're getting from this story. It is important to use a calendar to keep track of appointments. It is important to know how to look up phone numbers, and it is important to know how to use your phone. If you don't know how to use your phone, it's not going to be very helpful. Okay, let's do some fill in the blanks here. What is Jim going to do with Harold? How is he going to get a hold of Harold? Is he going to call Harold, or is he going to solve Harold? Remember, what do we do with the phone? We dial the number, we find it in our contacts, and we make a call. Ding. Libby saved Harold's phone number in her. Where would you save a phone number? Would you save it on a plan, or would you save it in phone contacts? And we talked about this. Do you remember? You can bring up a list and only type in a letter or two. It is phone contacts. So he found out in his calendar that there was an appointment and he was supposed to have lunch with Ben. So he called Ben to make new what? Did he call Ben to make a new solve? That doesn't really make sense. Or did he call Ben to make new plans? Plans. Here was the ding. Next, Jim. What did Jim do? Jim blanked the phone number to order pizza. What would you do with a phone number? Would you solve a phone number? Would you dial a phone number? Dials a phone number. So the phone helped Jim do what to many problems? Plan many problems? Should we choose this one or this one? Solve many problems. Solve. Ding. All right. Very good. I hope you enjoyed that story. We will go over it again one more time with a different, some different questions at the end. And hopefully it'll be familiar with you more tomorrow. But that is all for today.